Hello, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to do a study on keeping God's covenant and why it's important and still relevant for today. We see all the devastation that surrounds us, most recently the fires in LA and the hurricane in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Before that, there were fires in Maui, there were fires in Paradise, California, and flooding all throughout Europe. What country or state is next? The news may give us answers, but there's something deeper happening here, and it has a spiritual element to us. I want to tell you what is written in the Old Testament, also known as God's Torah, about these times. The first we hear about God's covenant is in Genesis 17, when God makes a covenant with Abraham and his descendants. It is summed up best in Psalm 105, 6 through 10. O seed of Abraham, his servant, children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yahovah, our Elohim. His right rulings are all in the earth. He has remembered his covenant forever. The word he commanded for 1,000 generations, the covenant he made with Abraham and his oath to Isaac, and established it to Jacob for a law, to Israel an everlasting covenant. Most of us know the basic commands, but did you know that we are to keep his Sabbath day and to keep it holy and his appointed times and feast days? You can read about these in Leviticus 23. There are very few people who keep all of God's commandments. Some may think that they have been done away with or that they are only for the Jews, but let's see what God says regarding this. Exodus 12:49. There is one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And in Leviticus 24:22, you are to have one right ruling for the stranger and for the native, for I am Yahovah your Elohim. He also says to keep his Sabbath holy because that is what sets us apart to be his special people. Ezekiel 20:12. And I also gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between them and me, and to know that I am Yahovah who sets them apart. Deuteronomy 7, 6 through 9. For you are a set apart people to Elohim. Yahovah your Elohim has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples on the face of the earth. He did not set apart his love on you nor choose you because you were more numerous than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples. But because of Yahovah loving you and because of him guarding the oath which he swore to your fathers, Yahovah has brought you out with a strong hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage and from the hand of Pharaoh, the sovereign of Egypt. And you shall know that Yahovah your Elohim, he is Elohim, the trustworthy El, guarding the covenant and kindness for 1,000 generations, with those who love him and those who guard his commands. He guards those who love him and guards his commands. Deuteronomy 31:12. Assemble the people, the men and women and the little ones, and the sojourner who is within your gates, so that they may hear and so that they may learn to fear Yahovah your Elohim and guard to do all the words of this Torah. Isaiah 56:6. And the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahovah and serve him, and to love the name of Yahovah, to be his servants. All who guard the Sabbath and not profane it and hold fast to my covenant. It's regarded as righteousness to keep all of God's commands. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahovah our Elohim as he has commanded us. Proverbs 7:2. Guard my commands and live, and my Torah as the apple of your eye. Deuteronomy chapter 28 is all about blessings for obedience and curses for disobedience. It's all about what we can expect if we obey him and the consequences if we don't. If we obey him, we can expect prominence, success, victory, provision, favor over our children, health and healing. Our land will be blessed. Our produce will be blessed. Our animals will be blessed. If we don't obey him, we can expect economic disaster, disaster on the land, military defeat, plagues, diseases. Our crops won't grow. Even our land and animals will be cursed. In Deuteronomy 29, we learned that the Israelites did not keep God's covenants. Deuteronomy 29:23, all nations will ask, why did the Lord do thus to the land? Wherefore that awful wrath? They will be told, because they forsook the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers made with them when he freed them from the land of Egypt. They turned to the service of other gods and worshiped them, gods whom they had not experienced and whom he had not allotted to them. So the Lord was incensed at that land and brought upon them all the curses recorded in this book. The Lord uprooted them from their soil in great anger, fury, and great wrath, and cast them into another land. And that is still the case. Concealed acts concern the Lord our God, but with overt acts, it is for us and our children to ever apply all the provisions of his teaching. So God's chosen people, the Israelites, have been scattered throughout the earth. God tells us the earth is under a curse in Isaiah 24:5-6. For the earth has been defiled under its inhabitants, because they have transgressed the Torah, changed the law, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore a curse shall consume the earth, and those who dwell in it shall be punished. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth shall be burned, and few men shall be left. In Jeremiah 9:12-14, we learned that the land has been destroyed because the people did not keep his Torah. Who is the wise man that understands this, and to whom has the mouth of Yahovah spoken that he declares it? Why has the land perished? Has it been burned up like a wilderness, with none passing through? And Yahovah says, because they have forsaken my Torah, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, nor walked according to it. But they have walked according to the stubbornness of their own heart, and after the Baals, which their fathers had taught them. So people didn't follow the commands of the Torah and went after other gods into idolatry. So God brings evil on the fruits of our thoughts. So not only does the land become destroyed, but the thoughts of the people do too. In Jeremiah 6:19, hear, O earth, see, I am bringing upon this people even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not listened to my words, nor my Torah, and they rejected it. They rejected his teaching. We can learn a lot from reading Hosea. I encourage you guys to go read the whole chapter on your own. I'm going to highlight a few of the verses from this chapter. In Hosea 4:1, he says, for there is no truth of loving commitment or knowledge of him in this land. So there was no knowledge of the truth of God in the land. Hosea 4:6, my people have perished for lack of knowledge. In Hosea 7:7, they have transgressed my covenant and have rebelled against my Torah. Since we have rejected what is good, an enemy pursues us. God says he has written numerous matters of his Torah that we regarded as strange. Because we have forgotten our Maker, he will send fire upon his cities. In Hosea 9, we learned that God's people have become wanderers among the nations because they have strayed away from him. They didn't keep his dietary laws, his feast days, or his Sabbaths. Hosea 9:17, my Elohim rejects them because they have not obeyed him, so that they may become wanderers among the nations. We are in judgment as a nation for not keeping God's covenant. We see the destruction happening everywhere. It's time to turn back to God and obey his commands. Jeremiah 11:3, And you shall say to them, thus says Yahovah, or Elohim of Israel, cursed is the man who does not obey all the words of this covenant. We are only protected by keeping God's teachings and his precepts. In the Amplified version of Isaiah 26:9, we learn, in the night my soul longs for you. Indeed, my spirit within me seeks you diligently. For only when your judgments are experienced on the earth will the inhabitants of the earth learn righteousness. So judgments have come upon the earth because the people need to learn righteousness. God says the people are ignorant in Jeremiah 4:22. For my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are stupid children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. We have been scattered among the nations for not obeying God's covenant, but he is regathering us. In Nehemiah 1:7-9, we have acted very corruptly against you, and have not guarded the commands, nor the laws, nor the right rulings which you commanded to your servant Moses. Please remember the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, if you trespass, I will scatter you among the peoples. But if you shall turn back to me and guard my commands and do them, though you were cast out to the end of the heavens, I shall gather them from there and bring them back to the place which I have chosen to make my name dwell there. We are to return to his covenant. That's our only help and our only safety. Daniel 11:32. And by flatteries he shall profane those who do wrong against the covenant. But the people who know their Elohim shall be strong and shall act. So we are to return to his teachings. Isaiah 26:2. Open the gates, let the righteous nation who guards the truth enter in. What is his truth? His truth is the word. His truth is his word and his teaching, which is his Torah. Keeping God's covenant is not what the churches teach. God never gave us a religion called Christianity or Judaism. He gave us his promise that he made with Abraham, that he would offer protection and land to Abraham and his descendants. But we must follow the path of God, keeping his laws and his commands. It's a way of life that will bring purpose and fulfillment. Some may say it's too difficult, but let's see what God says. In Deuteronomy 30:11, for this commandment I give to you today, it is not too hard for you, neither is it too far off. What is the conclusion of all of this? We learn that in Ecclesiastes 12. Let us hear the conclusion of the entire matter. Fear Elohim, guard his commands, for this applies to all mankind. The largest chapter in the Bible has much to say regarding God's teachings and his commands. I will read you a few verses out of Psalms 119. But I encourage you guys to go and read it all because it's beautiful and it's all about his Torah and his everlasting covenant. So shall I keep thy Torah continually, forever and ever. The Torah of thy mouth is better unto me than 1,000 of gold and silver. Oh, how I love thy Torah. All day long it is my conversation. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they seek not thy law. But thy Torah do I love. Great peace have they that love my Torah. There is no stumbling block for them. Here are some more verses out of Psalm 119. Blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk in the Torah of Yahovah. Blessed are those who observe his witnesses, who seek him with all the heart. Yea, they shall do no unrighteousness. They shall walk in his ways. Oh, that my ways were established to guard your laws. Then I would not be ashamed when I look into all your commands. I thank you with uprightness of heart when I learn the right rulings of your righteousness. I guard your laws. Oh, do not leave me entirely. How would a young man cleanse his path? To guard it according to your word. I have sought you with all my heart. Let me not stray from your commands. I have treasured up your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Blessed are you, O Yahovah. Teach me your laws. I encourage you all to read these scriptures for yourself and let God reveal his truth to you. Draw near to him, and he will draw near to you.